Flag is down.
I thought there would be a flag there.
Beard trying for the coffin corner, and it goes out of bounds. We'll check the penalty. They may.
Well, it could have been one of two things, Joe. Either they didn't have enough guys in the line of scrimmage because this guy was on the line and then backed up to go in motion, or when he went in motion, he turned up.
Motion man turned up the field too quick.
Yep.
There it is.
It's not Canada, Joe. That's legal in Canada.
Only it were so. Richland will determine where they'll enforce this, if at all. They won't.
Result of the play is a touchback. Richland's ball on the 20.
Let's go down to the sidelines with Josh Sperber for an update. Josh?
Joe, this isn't the only time that these two teams have faced in 2A championship action. You mentioned last year Richland beat Ligonier Valley 21-12, but they also beat Ligonier Valley in the 2A basketball championship. Couple of Rams played in that game as well, including Caleb Burke, but these two teams have a great familiarity with each other, and on both football and basketball, these athletes know each other.
Thank you, Josh. Certainly a lot of familiarity here, and as they say, familiarity, Sam, breeds contempt as Trevor Tustin gets the carry on first down.
Yes, he does a nice job bouncing that to the outside to get the edge sealed up. Here they're back to the formation that they got called illegal for, except now the guy's up, so they're in twins unbalanced here, and they're going to power off the outside, and he cuts it back.
Tustin loses the football.
Oh, ripped out.
He
Petroff.
was still upright when the ball came loose, and Ligonier Valley should have this one. They do.
I think Petroff ripped it out. And who comes up with it, Joe? 76?
The recovery made by Donovan Graham, the senior defensive lineman. 6'6", 316. First fumble recovery for him this year, and he's a happy camper.
I think you're going to see him hold him up here. He does a nice job cutting back. And there's Petroff, and he rips it out.
Yep. And there's a guy who's headed to the Naval Academy in Petroff. He's going to play FBS ball, and there's a big reason why.
Yeah, he's impressive on film. When he hits people, you know, he lights them up. And heads up play right there coming in to strip that out.
Second turnover of the night for Richland. And great field position again for Ligonier Valley now. This is their best field position of the night. 1st and 10 at the Richland 27. Sheeter to throw. Lofts it up, looking for his tight end. Down it. It's deflected, incomplete. Two defensive backs in to knock it away, and it looked like Trevor Tustin and Alan Mangus.
Yeah, get the idea of wanting to go deep after a turnover like that, but he threw that into a situation where his receiver was running right into a double coverage. They had a safety free over the top. Guy was running in zone coverage, but underneath him, so he picked him up as he went vertical, and he really didn't have a whole lot of chance of getting that in there. He was lucky he didn't get it picked off.
And that's Griff LaRue, number 3, rather than number 8, Tustin, who made the deflection.
Yeah.
LaRue with 3 interceptions of his own this year, as Ligonier Valley will spend its first time out of the half, it appears, with 2:52 to go.
Richland runs a real nice quarters coverage. Okay, so they're keeping guys deep, and the guys on the outside are pretty much playing on an island, except they have help over the top deep, and everybody else drops off in the zone. So that time when the zone guy went up the middle, they just picked him up, and you throw into double coverage a lot with the quarters coverage. And you got to be real careful where you're throwing that football.
Sam Sheeter in this game, 6 of 15 for 45 yards. Sam, I don't think we expected Sheeter to approach 15 pass attempts till about the 4th quarter.
No, you wouldn't think that. You know, their MO is like 280-some yards on the ground a game, another 150 in the air. So you would think, you know, their pass game comes mostly off of that run game. And it's not really boding well for them. They're going to have to get this run game figured out somehow.
You think it's a case of Ligonier Valley self-scouting, knowing what they tend to do and countering it?
I think it's a case of exactly what Coach said to us on the phone. Neither one of these teams are prepared to see what they're going to see from the opponent. Like, they haven't played anybody that's anywhere near as good as the teams they're playing tonight. So that's the change-up, is that they don't have a hard time running the ball because it's the best defensive line they've seen all year.
Coming out of the timeout, Sam Sheeter keeps it himself.
Nice cut by Sheeter.
Open space up the gut, out towards the 10-yard line. Gobbled up from behind by Nathan Kniss, but this will be a first down Ligonier Valley in the Tyrone Ford red zone.
Back to the counter trey scheme we talked about, Joe. Guard tackle come, kick out, tackle up inside. Sheeter does a real nice job running the football. Those things will take some of the heat off Miller, because you got to believe that Richland was keyed up on Miller, and that's one of the reasons why they can't run the ball with Miller very well, because they're looking for him to get the ball.
1st and 10 at the Richland 12.
Motion to a bunch.
Fake the toss. Sheeter keeps it again and again. Open space up the middle, and ball's loose. The 7th fumble of the game. Did Richland recover? Yes, they did.
Wow. Kind of amazing. He ran into, you're going to see, he does a nice job. It's a good gain. He runs into his own guy, which is Ethan Boring, and that's where the ball comes out. It's not that he got hit by anybody from Richland.
Bryce Batch was in the vicinity of when the ball came loose, but it's recovered by Richland at about their 3.5-yard line. And the Richland Rams, after the sudden change, need to set their offense. They'll call their second time out of the half. They've got one left.
It is a strange night, Joe.
7 fumbles in this game, Sam.
Yeah.
We talked about Ligonier Valley maybe being nervous. Do you think that runs both ways in this game?
Well, no, because the last fumble had nothing to do with nerves. It had to do with Petroff making a great play. Ligonier Valley's fumbles look more like people hitting them on the hands and just not securing the football. Richland's fumbles have either come from a strip or a hit. That one really is inexcusable. You should have had the ball secured enough that when you ran into your own guy, you don't drop it. So
now there's 7 fumbles, but only 3 of them have been recovered by the opponent, so go as official turnovers. But both teams stripping the ball, putting it on the deck, maybe a little case of the full moon perhaps. As you can stay connected with WHVL even when you're not near a TV, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and our brand new Instagram page for exclusive content. Maybe it is the moon, Sam.
Could be. Moon does strange things to kids. I know my kids were whacked out this week.
2 turnovers aside in this game. And Richland takes over 1st and 10 inside its own 4-yard line.
So they're back to the 2 tight end double flanker look here. See if they just try and run this off the deck or if they try and throw deep.
Kellen Burke out of his end zone, quarterback draw, and he's got room across the 10. And actually, that was a direct snap. It's Caleb Burke, I beg your pardon. Caleb Burke off the snap takes it himself.
Yeah. And they just did what they did the last time. They fanned out on the tight end to widen the defensive end and just ran back up inside of him.
I think I merged the 2 because Kellen Stahl has been the quarterback, but now Caleb Burke taking the snaps. Rips up an 11-yard gain to move the chains and move the clock, or stop it actually at 2:08 as he gets out of bounds.
So it appears maybe Wiley Steiker's out of the game. I wonder if he got hurt because they see the guy that recovered the fumble, Joe. 76 was.
Yeah, and Burke gets another direct snap. Less room to maneuver this time. Only nets a yard or so out of it as John Beard comes up to make the tackle from his safety position.
That time, Ligonier Valley did a real good job of hemming in and turning back to the inside where they had help. So, yeah, Devin Graham being in, I think Spiker's out right now. I'm just wondering if that's a substitution or if there's an injury there we got to worry about.
We'll check and see if he comes back in on offense, Spiker.
So now you're back to 2 tight ends and a true flanker look with basically a pistol eye look.
This is Burke again at quarterback, hands it off to Tustin. Spin move, gobbled up, however, by John Beard, and then help arrives to put Tustin on the turf after a gain of maybe 2.
Okay, now where's Stahl in this? Is he on the sideline? So I'm looking to see if he's like a decoy out here or something, but I don't see him on the field.
Nope.
I wonder if that's an injury issue or this is just a package they put in to try and get the ball in Burke's hands.
We'll see if maybe Josh Sperber has his eyes on the situation. Maybe head down.
Back to the flanker look again.
Richland 1 for 5 on 3rd down. Movement up front.
Fans telling them that they can't do that.
Richland side sitting on the home side at Mansion Park.
Dead ball. Encroachment. Defense. Not enough for a first down. Still 3rd.
So, but it's a 5-yard penalty, which makes this now a 3rd and a very manageable 1.
Yeah, you can't give them free stuff no matter what.
Final minute of play here in the first half. Richland scored on each of its first 2 possessions. Now with Caleb Burke taking the snaps on this drive. A turn.
Trying to run the ball.
Handoff. And
Tustin.
this will not be enough for first down yardage.
So Tustin on a carry again. I tell you, Joe, I'm really impressed, though, with Richland's skill kids and the footwork that they have and how quick they can cut. Tustin is an impressive athlete. If it wouldn't be for Burke, we'd be talking about Tustin all night.
Richland's going to go for it here on 4th and 1. This may well be the final play of the half, however.
He's crazy if he snaps this.
Well, maybe
if they snap it with like 1 second left.
Yeah, Burke pointing at the clock right now. Game clock is less than the play clock, so time runs out on the first half. And the Richland Rams lead the Ligonier Valley Rams 14-0, Sam. We expected a very, very good contest. So far, Richland has brought it, though Ligonier Valley has had some decent opportunities as well.
Yeah, and that's the thing. In big games like this, you cannot squander those big opportunities. They got her knocking on the door on the goal line and turned it over. They've had ball at the 30-yard line to start 2 drives and haven't come up with anything. They're going to have to make some adjustments here in the second half.
Well, we saw Caleb Burke taking the snaps for Richland at the last drive of the first half, but Kelton Stahl has had a nice game for Richland as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Just interesting to see if there's an injury or if they're just part of the game plan and you're trying to mix things up.
Meanwhile, there you see Kiri Miller limping a little bit at the back of the line as the Ligonier Valley team heads back to the locker room. But we'll send it down to the sidelines. Our own Josh Berber is joined by Richland head coach Brandon Bailey right now. Josh?
Thanks, Joe. I'm here with Coach Bailey. And Coach, strong first half, bunch of fumbles, couple turnovers. How do you feel about the turnover battle right now?
Yeah, I mean, both teams are playing great defense. They're knocking the ball out of people's hands. We got to secure that. Whoever's going to win that battle in the second half is going to win the ball game.
I know that was something you talked to me about this week, and something else was the play of Kellen Stahl. How do you feel he's led your offense tonight?
I think he had a great first quarter, and he's struggling a little bit in the second quarter, battling a little bit of an injury right now.
Well, hopefully he can get out healthy. And one thing you guys need to do to kind of kick into that extra gear to finish this game off.
Yeah, we got to play great defense. It's at a point where we keep them off the board, we're going to win the football game.
All right. Well, good luck to you guys in doing that for the second half. Joe?
Thanks very much, Josh. The Pine Orthodontics halftime show is on the other side. Richland leads Ligonier Valley at the half in the District 6 2A title game, 14-0. This is the WHVL Game of the Week, presented by Geisinger.
At CP Vets, we know your pets are part of the family, and that's why we're your locally owned emergency veterinary hospital. Open nights, holidays, and 24 hours on the weekends. We're here when your vet isn't available. CP Vets has a veterinarian on duty whenever we are open. We have a fully equipped operating room, x-ray, ultrasound, and oxygen therapy on site. X-rays are read by our veterinarian and a board-certified radiologist. If your pet needs blood work, we'll have the results to you in about 30 minutes. At CP Vets, we give all pets the care they deserve.
Ace Hardware in the Hills Plaza South has the products and services you need at the prices you might not expect. We are State College's exclusive retailer for quality Benjamin Moore paint. Whether it's lawn and garden, tools and supplies, an assortment of bird seed and feeders, to Weber grills and Yeti coolers, our friendly, knowledgeable staff is here to help you decide. For over 5 years, we've featured a wide variety of Craftsman tools, along with a variety of housewares from plumbing and electrical to light bulbs and keys, made right here while you wait. Ace Hardware State College is your locally owned, locally focused, helpful hardware place.
There are few vehicles that truly disrupt like the Kawasaki Trex KRX 1000 Sports Side-by-Side, built to go places where others give up. We took it upon ourselves to set a new standard, to take the lead and take no prisoners. The Trex KRX 1000, featuring a powerful 999cc engine, is built with next-level capability to conquer the toughest terrain. High ground clearance, long travel suspension, and a highly rigid frame with integrated ROPS work together to deliver a riding experience unlike any other. Over a century of Kawasaki engineering has led to this, a machine that's built to outmuscle anything that stands between you and the adventure of a lifetime. Adventure awaits and the new Kawasaki Trex KRX 1000 Sports Side-by-Side. Your world, your adventure. Carnes Equipment, 14357 Shawville Highway, Clearfield.
My passion has been automobiles from the time I was a little boy. Commitment, dedication, sacrifice. When you're a race car driver, your success is wrapped up in the success of those around you. is that they are part of the machine. We represent the greatest franchises in the automotive marketplace.
Bobby Rahal Automotive Group. An impossible case.
We had everything going against us.
But there was one person.
Something's gonna happen tonight.
Who could help catch the killer. Dateline.
Wednesday nights at 8 on WHVL.
At the half here in the District 6 Class 2A championship game, Richland leads Ligonier Valley 14-0. This is the WHVL Game of the Week presented by Geisinger. Joe Putnam, Sam Stroh up here in the booth, Josh Berber down on the sidelines, and our great WHVL crew along with you here from Mansion Park in Altoona, rounding out our 2019 Game of the Week schedule tonight. This is the Pine Orthodontics halftime show for the last time this year. Our thanks to Pine Ortho for their help with this entire season, and we'll take a look. You saw them briefly there, the first half stats presented by Warriors 322 Motors. But Sam, your initial impressions for both these teams as we take a look at the numbers?
Really would have thought, well, Ligonier did start to get the rushing game going. Now they're up to 94 yards, and, you know, their MO is to run the ball. I would have thought they'd have run the ball maybe a little better than this. Give Richland a lot of credit. Richland has run the ball fairly well at times, but now they're getting kind of shut down. The big difference, obviously, the passing game. That has been the huge difference in the turnover battles even, but those big pass plays early on and the fumbles early on leading to some of those big pass plays, you know, the difference with the two scores right now. 7 fumbles for both teams in this game combined. Only 3 of them have been recovered, but that accounts for the better part of those turnovers in this game. Richland with a lead in total yardage, 200 to 139, 8-7 lead in first downs for Richland. Our halftime stats brought to you again by the Warriors 322 Motors, and our thanks to them for their support throughout this 2019 season as well. The Ligonier Valley Band performing here at the break. This is the Pine Orthodontics halftime show. And a great game here, as we expected, between two teams ranked in the top 5 in the state by the PIAA Football News. Ligonier Valley at number 2 in the state in 2A coming in. Richland at number 5. And the highlights of this one, plentiful certainly for Richland in the early going, and Richland got things going right off the bat, Sam. Yeah, here you see him going deep. And we talked about this. He just kind of outran the coverage, ran right by guys here. There's a good shot, a stall, bouncing to the outside, doing a good job here. And here he is throwing on the run. We talked about this one where, again, the guys ran right by. There again, there's Tustin going right by coverage.
And here's a big screen pass
off
to Alan Mangus.
Yep, and he set that up really well. Mangus does a nice job getting down the sideline here.
Mike Petrov has to go 50 yards to chase him down from behind. But then an end zone interception. And then Tustin, this is a
strips right here.
Yeah, stripped by Petrov. Recovered by Ligonier Valley. Sam Sheeter has been able to run well.
Yeah,
but he let go.
Yeah, you got to hold on to the football. Got to finish the drives. That's the big thing. They've had a couple opportunities to get themselves back in the ball game. They haven't finished the drives.
Big plays, 2 touchdown passes for Kellen Stahl, 38 TDs, 3 picks this season now. Burke and Tustin each with TD passes. But again, as head coach Brandon Bailey told Josh Sperber on the sidelines before going into the locker room, Stahl dealing with a little bit of an injury. We'll see how that affects Richland in the second half. But right now, we treat you to the sweet sounds of the Ligonier Valley Marching Band.
At CP Vets, we know your pets are part of the family, and that's why we're your locally owned emergency veterinary hospital. Open nights, holidays, and 24 hours on the weekends. We're here when your vet isn't available. CP Vets has a veterinarian on duty whenever we are open. We have a fully equipped operating room, x-ray, ultrasound, and oxygen therapy on site. X-rays are read by our veterinarian and a board-certified radiologist. If your pet needs blood work, we'll have the results to you in about 30 minutes. At CP Vets, we give all pets the care they deserve.
Performance you can count on. That's LMR Tire and Service Centers. And Likens Market. At LMR Tire and Service Centers, you get the best prices on brand name tires, and we participate in most tire manufacturers' rebate and incentive programs. Hungry for a great tasting sub on a fresh made roll? Likens Market offers two 12-inch subs for just $8.98. That's right, two for just $8.98.
LMR Tires and Likens Market, your family tire shop and convenience store.
At CP Vets, we know your pets are part of the family, and that's why we're your locally owned emergency veterinary hospital. Open nights, holidays, and 24 hours on the weekends. We're here when your vet isn't available. CP Vets has a veterinarian on duty whenever we are open. We have a fully equipped operating room, x-ray, ultrasound, and oxygen therapy on site. X-rays are read by our veterinarian and a board-certified radiologist. If your pet needs blood work, we'll have the results to you in about 30 minutes. At CP Vets, we give all pets the care they deserve.
Center County is where you work. It's where you play. It's where you live. Stay better informed about the community you love through a subscription to the Center Daily Times. It's your go-to media source for local coverage from journalists who live and breathe this community, just like you do. Visit centerdaily.com/subscribe today.
It doesn't take long to become addicted to opioids. 13 Pennsylvanians die from them every day. Geisinger is committed to ending opioid addiction with both prevention and treatment. In the last 3 years, we've